The names Oupa Mohoje and Robert Ebersohn have become synonymous with Cheetah Rugby. Born and raised in the Free State, both players came through the ranks from school, junior and provincial rugby to become legends in Bloemfontein. And recently, they pulled the Toyota Cheetah jersey over their heads for the magical 100th time.
So playing 100 caps for the Cheetahs feels quite incredible. Firstly, because I've been here all my life. The Cheetahs is all I know. I'm grateful to have been part of this union for such a long time, you know. Running onto the field with it, I definitely am going to celebrate it. However, I do know at the back of my mind that there is a game to play and the focus needs to be up. So prior to the game and maybe after the game, we can celebrate it.
Yes, it's a very special moment for me. I feel very privileged and honoured to play 100 games for this union. I haven't played one single game for any other union in South Africa, and it's pride. Probably the emotion that comes up is a lot of pride to play for this union and to be able to play 100 games. So yeah, it's special. It's just special for me. I think there's been very big days in my life. The day I got married, the birth of my children were special days. But I never grew up as a young boy thinking and dreaming of becoming a dad. When I was small, I dreamed of playing for the Cheetahs. I played with my brother in the garden and we dreamed of playing together for the Cheetahs, what we did. And then after we dreamed and wished to play for the Cheetahs, and to be able to do that for 100 times, it's special.
Yeah, in the professional era, it doesn't happen that often that players play 100 games at the same union. We were lucky to have Oupa last week and now Robert this week. Yeah, for him and his family, everyone will be really proud of him and what he achieved in the Cheetah jersey and what he meant to the union. Robert went overseas for quite a few years, played in France and then came back to complete this milestone, and I think it's a big achievement for Robert. I would have liked to see us with him as well. They started with us in 2008 as under 19 players, and yeah, Rob became the captain of the team and played, today is his 100th game, so it's a big achievement for him, and we will support him and hope that we get a good result as well.
I think there have been quite a lot of memories that I've shared with the players and with the union. I believe our last game of Super Rugby was the Sunwolves in Tokyo. That was an incredible game for us. I think it was emotional, the fact that we're not going to play here anymore. You know, playing our first game in the Pro 14. I wasn't watching, I was injured at home, but I saw the guys play and it was incredible knowing that, you know, we are part of this competition and now we're going to go with this competition, you know. And finding the EPCR, you know, the road to getting there has been quite special, and yeah, I can say that we have shared some pretty good memories and some pretty tough ones with the union.
Yeah, the one game in Pretoria stand out. The game we played where my brother kicked the last kick to win the game was special for me. Also the game we played against Crusaders here in Bloemfontein when we won, where he scored a try at the end. It's funny, maybe it's every time he played well, I felt good. So I like it when people around me do well. Yeah, for me it's just to be part of a big brand, to be part of a union that's got a very, very proud history, and to play some sort small role in that union's history. So I remember it well. The first time I came onto the field for the Cheetahs was a Currie Cup game. We played the Blue Bulls in Pretoria, and my sister and her friend drove all the way from Bloemfontein to Pretoria to go and watch the game. And I played for less than 10 minutes. I think I made one tackle and I didn't touch the ball, and I came off after 7 minutes. But yeah, for my sister and them, they were so happy, and I was lucky for them to be there and to experience that day.
My first team debut was against the Lions in Johannesburg. That was a Currie Cup game, and I remember, I think I might have come on off. I think I came off the bench as a lock, and I remember the day after the game, I looked at Henny Danila with such hectic disappointment, saying, "Yes, I can't believe we lost this game." And he looked at me and said, "What are you talking about?" And I looked at the score, and we had actually won. I think the game was a very, very tight game, and I actually jumped up and I hugged him, you know. But then I had to throw back, oh, this guy's a senior player, and but it was just excitement that went. So that compared to the man that I am right now, I think it's been quite incredible. I've had to do a lot of growing up in the past 10 years, and I think we are on the right track so far. But the child in me back then was, yeah, it's incredible looking back now. The try that stands out in my mind, I think a lot of people always remind me of this try, and it always takes me back when I'm going through tough times. I always remember that try and remember who I kind of am and how far I've gone. It was a try against the Crusaders when we played here in Bloem, actually, when I scored back in 2014. So it was my second game of my Super Rugby career, and I was able to score that game coming off the bench. So yeah, that's one of the tries that I remember.
Yeah, I haven't scored as much as I would like to. But again, I would like to think of myself as someone who played for the team. I would say the best try I did not score was a game we played here in Bloemfontein, where I was over the line and I passed the ball to one of my best friends, Bloemfontein. And he was my friend from grade 1. He was the first Mikey I went to visit or slept over at his house when we were grade 1. And I remember the game it was here in Bloemfontein. I was over the line and I just heard his voice and he said, Robbie, Robbie, Robbie. And I for some reason, I just know this voice so well, almost the same as my brother's voice, and I just passed it to him and he scored. And after the game, some of the journalists asked me as well and said, like, yes, that's nice spirit, but why did you pass it to him? And I said, I didn't want to. When I heard his voice, I didn't even think. It sounded like such a familiar voice, and I just passed the ball to him.
Oupa, you look good in the green and gold. What has changed in the past 2 weeks being involved in the Bok camp as well?
No, a lot has changed. I mean, I know that I've learned a lot. I've learned quite a bit from the guys, and it's been great being here. The management is great, the coaches are great, the players are also awesome, so they're very accommodating. So it's been a pleasure being here.
Has it been an inside track? Are you seen as a lock or a flank?
I'm a flank and lock.
I do believe that it was a massive highlight of my career. At that time, there were 7 Springboks that had made it, so it has shown the kind of place that the Cheetahs was back then. And I think the main aim and what we strive for as a union is to breed young guys and turn them into professional rugby players and turn them into Springboks. The term breeding ground of opportunity comes to me a lot when I say this. So I do believe that we're going to continue doing that. We do produce some really, really good talent, and I do hope and believe that we will produce a lot more in the coming years.
Yes, it was also a big dream also to play for the Springboks. I was lucky enough and privileged enough to be involved in a couple of Springbok camps and train with them. And yes, 100% it helped me to grow as a player and form me into the player I am today. Although I never played for them and never got the chance to pull that Springbok jersey over my head, I definitely used those setbacks to form myself into the player and man that I am today.
Another 100 games in me. So it took me 10 years to get to 100 caps. I was just talking to Victor now. It took him 2 years. It's taken him 2 years to get to 50. So playing for another 10 years, if it's less, maybe I do. Maybe I do. But for now, yeah, let's just keep the faith and see how it goes.
Another 100 games? I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think so. I think I've played a lot. I've played 100 for Cheetahs, or today will be 100 for Cheetahs, but I also played more than 100 games in France. That might be a little bit too much. I'm lucky to be here today and still be able to play, but I don't think so. I don't think another 100. I don't know if my marriage will be able to take another 100 games.
If I had to thank every single person individually, I think we'd be here the whole day. But obviously, I would like to thank the management of the Cheetahs for giving me this opportunity, for taking care of me for so long. But, primarily who's on top there are our supporters. That's who we do this for. We play for our supporters, and I would like to thank each and every single supporter that comes here and supports, that watches on TV all over South Africa, all over the world. We really do appreciate it, and we really do hope that we can make you proud. It's not easy always, but we go through together, we cry together, and we laugh together, and we celebrate together. So us coming on the field here playing is definitely for our supporters.
Yes, 100%. I would not be able to be here today without every single coach from primary school to high school to after school that formed me, that coached me, that taught me a lot of stuff. I always use this analogy or example because I have a twin brother. I think he was always the gifted child, where with me, I'm self-taught. I have to train something 100 times over and over and over again. So it took a lot of hard work to get to where I am today, and I know that, and my coaches know that. I know there's a couple of coaches who might have thought at some stage, I'm going to give up on this kid, but I would like to thank Coach Harvey's and Coach Shaw, because every one of this 100 games at the Cheetahs, they were part of it. They were at every single game, Super Rugby, and these games, they were my coaches, and I'm blessed to say that and share this day also with them. And then also the players. I would like to thank all the players that played with me, old and young and new. And then lastly, I would also like to thank my wife, Marisa, for all her support in the last 15 years or 14, 15 years that we've been together, and my whole rugby career. She was part of it. She left her job and her career in South Africa to go over to France with me and to follow my dream. She had to put her dreams aside, and I would always be grateful for that.